Hello everyone, welcome back. This video will be on Satanic Text 2. It will be on the Liber Demoni Satanae, which is translated to, I think, the Book of Lord Satan. And it is a good piece of artwork. You know, whoever made this text, they're a smart person. Could be a channeled text. All texts are channeled either way. Well, not all. But this text is the most, one of the most interesting satanic texts, in my opinion, and it truly resonates with me. Unlike the Al Law, which can easily be doubted and can easily be discredited, because it's part of another religion, and you're practically stealing from another religion. That's why I rated that an 8 and a 9-ish. And I didn't really say this, I should have said that, but I should have said an 8 and a 9 out of 100 in order to rate it correctly. Yeah, it resonates with me. Has some good wording in it. I love the wording. I mean, it could relate to his character, but, it doesn't because it's part of another religion with Malaktaos, or whatever the Yazidis call their god, which is a completely different religion. They would be a form of angelolatry, or worship of angels, and offspringing from a Muslim religion. And if you're interested, just research more into it. Just Satanism isn't about accepting anything blindly. It's about using your head and thinking for yourself. No one can tell you what to think. No one can tell you what not to think. Satanism is about using your own head because you are your own God, and to think for yourself. Now, many people get confused in this. When I say you are your own God, or whenever other Satanists, atheistic or theistic or whoever, say we are our own God, we don't literally mean we're a God that has unlimited powers and can do anything. We are going against the social hierarchy and the societal ideas, society ideals of us being peasants to gods that we believe in and worship, when there's a high chance that those gods probably don't exist. So it makes sense to rebel against that hierarchy and to create your own thing, saying we are the gods. We are the only gods. And let me ask you this. If any religion was true, would they find it offensive? Sure. Maybe the Abrahamist, but any other pagan religion, ancient pagan religion, they wouldn't see it as wrong or bad. They would see it as good. Because, you know, every mythology, the gods want us to be happy. In every mythology. But Satanism goes to that root of the god that was blasphemed and went against by every religion, pagan religion. You have the ancient Egypts, their god Set. He was a good god originally. I think he was a fertility god, sex god, love god. I know that for a fact. Storm god and the god of deserts. Because desert was outside land and it was also the land of foreigners. So he was the god of foreigners, the god of outsiders, the god who would accept anyone, who doesn't discriminate. So Set is the perfect example of the god of all things. Because he cares for all people. The foreigners and the Egyptians, or the Kims, Kims, whatever it's called. I know the ancient Egypt land is called Kim. I know that. Because I used to follow Kemetic paganism until I was like That's a bunch of bullcrap. They literally believe in the mythology. I can't follow that. And then you have the Norse mythology with Loki, who was kind of know my Norse mythology. Norse myth, the Norse mythology. Who Loki, who was born of a giant, I think, and I think he married a giant too, but he was a trickster god. You know, one second he was with the gods, and another second he was against them. He was the god who would literally do anything as he pleased. You know, do anything as he pleased. He was a pure example of what we should do. We should choose what we should do. Not what anyone tells us, not what any God tells us to do. Even Satan. Sometimes sometimes he might give you signs or something that he needs something or whatever. You can choose not to do it. But eventually you'll see yourself wanting to do it because you feel you have to do it because you're a Satanist. Satanist, like Anton LaVey said, Satanists are not chosen, or Satanists are not made. They're born. We are literally born into Satanism. I mean, you can't get us out of it. You can get us. You can make us think, but we'll come back to it. And Satan is the ultimate archetype of thinking for yourself. No matter what anything says, even him. He is the ultimate archetype. He will lead you to thinking and worshiping him to not worshiping him and doubting him, and then eventually you come back to worshiping him. And because you see, hey, that's just the Prince of Darkness playing his tricks. You know? He's the big trickster guy that always tricks you and to makes you think for yourself, and eventually it does help you out. So yeah. And then we have the Greek mythology. Oh, Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. It is one of the mythologies that I'm like, I love it. You have Pan in Greek mythology, who was did whatever he pleased. He was the god of pleasure. He was the god of sex. He was the god of nature, fertility. You know, one of the gods of fertility. And he was half animal or half goat. He had goat legs. He was a satyr. Satire. That's what it's called. Satire. I think it's called a satire. And it just showed that he was a beast, but yet a man. It showed that true divinity isn't achieved through false hopes and through not dwelling in the pleasures of this life. To show that it shouldn't be achieved that. It shouldn't be achieved through giving up your life and devoting yourself to some thing and giving up your life on that. It should be about devoting your life to enjoying life, living life, feeling the pleasures of life, the ups and the downs. Because that's what nature is. Nature is the biggest teacher. And that's all that all that I can think of right now at this very moment about some of the history of Satan and all that. And now I'm gonna go to um, reading the Liber Demoni Satanic, or the Book of Lord Satan. My power is above all power in the earth, and beyond the stars. I am will itself, the mighty Lord Satan. This shows that he's just stating his power and his strength. None may speak of me. All who claim to do so are frauds and liars. I alone speak for myself to whom I will, and at my choosing. Those who claim to be my prophets are deceivers of many, for I have no prophets, and no holy men follow me. This shows that all of those people who want to set up a dogma within Satanism, such as the joy of Satan, or the new, or it's not new, the thing going around like Orthodox Satanism, I laugh every time I see that. Orthodox Satanism. I mean, like, really? How are you that stupid? Satan is a god that is against the whole idea of orthodoxy. You know, he is completely against the whole idea of it. And if you're gonna sit there and say Orthodox Satanism, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this, but that's the most sins of satanic sins that you could ever have. Now, I don't believe in sins. I don't believe in satanic sins. I just see them as, I just use the word in order to, sin to me means stupid thinking. That's what it means to me. Not the Christian way, you know? And I just think it's funny. I mean, I tell you guys, if any of you are in Orthodox Satanism, it's your beliefs. I don't care, but just sit for a minute and think. Think for a second. Why? Why are you in Orthodox Satanism? Just think for a second. Why am I in it? Why do I believe in Orthodox Satanism? You know? Why do I take it as dogma? Bum 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 bum. That's what I think, so it is real. And all that. Because of some, I don't care if I get, you know, reported for this, but because of some retard named Brother Nero. He's retarded. I hate him. I truly just hate him. I truly do. Brother Nero, he needs a lot of help. He really does. I mean, God. And then we have the joy of Satan. That's another one of these Orthodox, traditional, whatever you want to call it, Satanism. They're following the dogma of some anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi fucktard. Sorry for my cussing, but I have to say it because that bitch needs help. Mentally. She needs help. She needs to go to a psychiatric. She's psychotic. She is delusional. She needs help. And that's all I've got to say about that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Those who claim to be my chosen vessels are nothing but foul wind, blowing this way and that, stirring up the loose earth beneath my majesty. Pay no heed to those who claim such authority in my behalf. They will merely lead you down the path of self-deceit. That is exactly what I said right there. That is exactly what I said. The path to my power must always be tread alone. No other can lead you to me. This shows that all those, like those dogmas that want to say, oh, this is the only true path to Satan. No, it's not. And that's what I've got to say. This is one thing I've got to say. In my opinion, and others may think different, but all of these dabblers within Satanism that haven't devoted 100% of their time, they're doing double things. They're practicing Christianity and practicing Satanism and all that because they want riches or whatever. No, it's not all about that. And second of all, if you're going into Satanism because you found this coven and they're like, oh no, come here, you can worship Satan, and then you end up doing it. No, you're not. In my opinion, you're not a Satanist. You're not. You were made one. You weren't born one. You haven't found him. I would ask you, all of those people who join a coven just because, and they've never actually experienced him, and they joined Satanism because they found a coven. They never were introduced to it by him. They never practice it on their own, and they're just doing it for attention and for money, which you're gonna end up really successful getting money from it. Yeah, I'm just being sarcastic. You're not gonna get really successful. You're not. We're not gonna sacrifice babies. You must be a sick fuck to want to sacrifice babies. That is messed up. That is messed up. And I truly hope that you get bad luck in life because of that. But anyways, they're not real Satanists. They're gonna leave Satanism in like a few months or whatever, because they're gonna get bored. Because they haven't really experienced the Dark Lord in his infernal majesty. I love putting wording in it. I have no creed or code of conduct. I have only will, pure and inviolate. I have no creed and code of conduct. Boom. Showed right there what I just said. I have only will, pure and inviolate. That just means he just is. He can't be explained. He is power. Belief in dogmas. Well, this is a continuation of the text. Belief in dogmas is for those who prostrate themselves before their so-called gods, fashioned from their own minds, or better yet, bequeathed to them by the false prophets and books filled with feces. I just love this. I love line number 5. Or paragraph number 5. I freaking love it. It is just... 100% I love it. I just love that. Requited them by the false prophets and books filled with feces. He is the Lord of blasphemy. And I just love it. It just shows how ridiculous it is. Trample on these powerless and false gods. I laugh at their petty disputes over the unreal world inside the minds of their followers. This shows again, most of them are all made up. They don't exist. And I know that my God might not exist. Satan might not exist. But it doesn't matter to me, no, because I'm happy in life and I'm not wasting my life. I blaspheme. This is a continuation of the text. I blaspheme against all their articles of faith. They're toys of children. They're toys of children. They're toys of children. Like all those crosses that say, Eve, get out of there in the name of Jesus. Some fucking skinny ass bitch on a fucking stick ain't gonna do shit. It ain't gonna do shit to help you out in life. Why don't you do it on your own? Stop groveling before gods and do it on your own. It's just common sense. Jeez. And this is a continuation. And those who would inflate their own statue by claiming a mandate from heaven. God is dead. I killed him. I rent his spirit into billions of pieces and gave each man his own share. I curse all these gods with an unquenchable laughter. They are divided against themselves and so must fall. This right here, God is dead because I killed him. This right here is showing that the Judeo-Christian idea of God being an all-powerful entity, complete control over everything. If God had complete control over everything, then why doesn't he just snap his fingers or whatever and remake everything to the perfect design that he wants it? Why doesn't he just do that? You know? Because he doesn't exist. That idea of a God does not exist. It can't exist. It is completely against physics and the idea of a universe. I rent his spirit into billions of pieces and gave each man his own share. This shows that each man is a god. We are all gods. So stop believing in superstition and search for real things. If there are gods out there, they don't want you to worship them. And they don't want you to know. But if they do exist, they will show themselves to you. And then you can worship them if you want to. Let those who follow their gods be set upon each other with a mad frenzy. I love that. Because it shows his just madness aspect. Let them compete in sports of bloodshed and treachery. Watch them as they kill each other in the most ingenious ways. Observe that those who would consign me to the fires of hell endure hell fashioned by their own blood-drenched hand. My laughter can be heard among their decaying corpses. Now this is the most graphic of lines in this text, and it really shows that anyone who wants to confine him to some idea of what they think is the truth. Everyone thinks they know the truth. No one, in truth, no one knows the truth. No one can ever know the truth to anything. No one can ever know the truth to anything. Well, except if it's mundane issues like, political things or, human things. This is a good one too. Draw a circle upon the ground, stand inside and mutter worthless words framed in dead languages. Make elaborate gestures and concentrate all your focus. Doing such things will summon only your own fantasies. I am not to be found here. Beware of the vast powers of the mind. You are being deceived by your own imagination. This shows right here that if you're thinking all these people think they can summon Satan, I like to tell them, show me that you can. And then they say, oh, well, we can only do it once, we can't do it again, because it's not possible. You can't summon him. And this shows right here that all those people who do things and they expect him to come or they expect things to happen, they'll delude themselves or trick themselves into thinking that it did happen or that they're actually seeing the thing, when in reality they're not actually seeing it, they're just hallucinating. Which is what you gotta watch out for when you're doing things. And that's why you gotta question things. You can't believe in it. Unless you've seen many things to prove to you that thing actually did happen. I am pure fire. This is a continuation of the text. I am pure fire. I consume all falsehood in my path, and I know no fear. This just shows that Satan's power can be like compared to a fire, which purifies the worthy and destroys the false. I am not to be, this is continuation, I am not to be sought in arcane rituals and the ceremonies of deluded charlatans. I am answerable to no commands, for I am power itself. This just shows right here, the best way to describe it is every ritual ceremony has in common is it was made by men. It is completely foolish to think that these things made by man can in any way compel the Dark Lord to act according to any will other than his own. And that's just, yeah. Neither pray to me, for those who pray I hold in the highest contempt. Pray not, neither act. Rather act, and you will be rewarded. This is just, I love this one. Because the best way to describe it is prayers are just for the sheeple of dogmatic faiths, like Orthodox Satanism. Satan is not a metaphysical Santa Claus who will come into your house and give you presents. Santa Claus doesn't exist. If there are kids on here, you shouldn't be on here. You're too young to do this. Prayer is a denial of real casualty and an excuse for inactivity and sheepishness. My power can neither be contained nor compelled. I act as I will for my own purposes, and those who would seek to bend me in service I will surely destroy. I am your master, and you are not mine. Satan is the master and lord of the earth. It is completely ridiculous to think that he can in any way be compelled to act, whether by ritual, prayer, or otherwise. Failure to understand these relative stature of humans and the Dark Lord can only lead to self-delusion. Paragraph number 14. Only those who truly know my essence will be rewarded with a share of my divine power. My gift is precious and will be given only to the worthy. Right here, only those who truly know my essence will be rewarded with a share of my divine power. Those of you who I honestly don't have to explain this. Because those of you who are Satanists, or theistic Satanists, that are actually theistic Satanists, and they've been theistic Satanists for a few years now, even if they've left and went back, you've still been a theistic Satanist for that long. Just not counting the years that you weren't. You will know what this means. You will know what this line means. And my gift is right here. My gift is precious and will only be given only to the worthy. This shows that, like I always say, where he chooses his followers, he doesn't seek everyone to worship him. He doesn't even seek everyone to know about him. He just wants people, all of the sheeple, he wants people to fear him. To fear him. You know, like the Christians say he's the father of lies? Yeah, sure. He is the father of lies if you want to say it. Because, you know, he spreads those lies to cause fear in the hearts of men. Because he doesn't want some dogmatic fucktard sheeple to worship him. He wants people who think for themselves, who use their noggin, who use their head. Those are his followers that he chooses. And he has already chosen you before you were born. And some of us actually have a physical mark. Like they always say, the devil's mark or whatever. There are physical marks out there. Very few. And yeah, Maria Ravensoul and all them, they believe it's a spiritual mark. Yeah, I believe it's a spiritual mark. But there are some who have a physical mark. And it's just a mark on your body, like a birthmark or a surgery mark or a mark that happened from an accident. It'll just have some meaning to you, and it'll remind you of the Dark Lord. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seek, this is a continuation, seek me earnestly, and I will be found. Seek after phantasms, and you will forever be lost and wander in the waste of your own daydreams. And again, that's explainable. If anyone says he has found my essence, they surely lie. My gift inspires silence, not empty boasting. And that is explainable for itself. Those of you who understand it, good for you. You're with me. And you're a true theistic Satanist. A true Satanist. Those of you who are not, well, you're missing out on a lot of fun. And sorry to say it, but you'll never get the thing happen in your life. Unless, you start to think for yourself and not be a sheeple. I am the first being before all others. Observe the proper respect. That's line 16. And this one it refers to that he's the first being, he is the first, as he is the driving force of evolution and life, or conscious development on Earth. That's what they explain it. So continuation. If anyone says to you, follow me, your answer should be a scornful laughter. Follow no man who seeks to be followed. They are weak beings who need others from whom to siphon energy. Let them enslave one another. Those who are of me are slaves to no one or nothing. This right here. Satan inspires independence. No true servant of our Dark Master will seek to follow any man, such as Brother Nero and High Priestess Magician, or whatever, with their fucking joy of Satan. Fuck you. I don't care if I lose subscribers, because if they are, then they're not true Satanists. Those who desire others to follow them are psychologically immature, incapable of standing on their own without assistance from yes men. The follower of Satan cannot help but laugh at these childish types. No creed, this is a continuation, no creed, no false hope can delude them. No blind allegiance can compel them. I offer freedom from these prisons fashioned by men. Self-explanatory. Carry yourself with inner strength, not vanity. Vanity is ever the servant of the opinions of others. Care not what any man thinks of you. Your strength is no illusion of the flesh. The true Satanists could care less what opinions others may have about them. And vanity gives power over one's actions to others who are often a little significant in one's life. Just, yeah. Line 20, paragraph 20. Lust after all the things of the earth, each in its due course. All have been given so that you might rejoice in your freedom. So that freedom from all that blinds the others. Pay them no heed, they understand nothing. This says, lust after all things on the earth, each of its due course. This shows that to just live life, do whatever you want to do, but do it in a limit without hurting yourself. Paragraph 21, Jesus Christ. Have no fear of eternal punishment, nor delusion of eternal bliss. Both are lies fashioned to control those with no real power. Enjoyment is to be had in the present, not in the future. Never sacrifice what you truly have for what can never be yours. Do not seek me for a guide. I guide no one. Guidance is for the weak and for children. Neither of these belong to me. I am power and knowledge, the great flame of all. Those who claim I am flesh are truly mad. My essence is the very destruction of flesh. I am the conqueror, and I am the flame. I was not born, never was created. I have no father, no mother, and no offspring. I am purity. This is why. It says right here, I was not born, showing that he is not a physical being. He is not a physical being. So you can't summon Satan and physically manifest him. Stop. Ignorance. And no offspring. Yes. Us, Satanists. Yeah, we might say we're children of Satan, but metaphorically speaking, we're not literal children of Satan. But the idea of a fucking Antichrist is just fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. If you're gonna sit there and wait for some Messiah or whatever, or as they say, a satanic Messiah, that's fucking ridiculous. Just do it yourself. Stop becoming like the dogmatic religions and waiting for some satanic Messiah. We are all satanic Messiahs. That's why I hate those fucking people who believe in the idea of a fucking Antichrist. You're all the fucking Antichrist. We are all the Antichrist. Sorry for cursing, guys. I normally don't use language like this, but I get really annoyed sometimes when people don't think for themselves. Cursed be those who claim I was created by God. I am the essence. This is self-explanatory. Cursed be those who claim they speak to me, for my voice shatters reality itself. This is a good point right here. Anyone who claims to speak with the Master, as humans speak to each other, has a poor understanding of the true nature of the Dark Lord. If Satan has a voice, then he has a mouth. Yeah, if they claim to speak to him, there's nothing wrong if you pray to him, just don't grovel over him like Christians do, But those who claim to speak to him like you and me, like a human would speak to another human, that's completely against nature. Because if he has a mouth, then he has a body. And if he has a body, he is definitely not Satan. Cursed be those who claim to speak for me. They will answer for the impudence by believing by none, by being believed by none but imbeciles. Those who claim to have infernal mandates are deluded fucktards. Only the weak will believe them. And trust me on that. 29. Cursed be those who deny my reality. They are forever lost among ideas and opinions. And my comment on this is, some do not admit the reality of Satan. Even if they're atheistic and they believe he's some force, or they don't believe he exists and they believe he's a symbol. They don't, just think for themselves. If they don't think for themselves, they are missing out on an important piece of the picture. Cursed be those who claim power over me. I am power itself. Cursed be those who live in fear of me. They are slaves to their own minds, a pitiful reward. Cursed be those who follow any god but me. They deceive themselves concerning that which they know not. Cursed be those who follow any man. Their very existence is wasted and worthless. Cursed be those who act according to the rules of others. They are slaves as well. Cursed be those who lead others astray. They blind themselves. Cursed be those who possess no will, no desire. They are a waste of useful energy. This is my favorite line because it talks about the fucking sheeple. They waste energy, they waste time, and they're just a waste of space, honestly. Cursed be those who deny my will. They can only win at the cost of their own purpose. And here comes my favorite paragraph. I am Satan. I am the Lord of the earth and the air. I am the master of power and will. My truth will never cease, and my reality cannot be denied. I am the fire which burns all, the flame eternal. None can resist me. And that is what I call a big hail Satan. This is a 43-minute long video. Holy crap. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for watching, and just use your head and think for yourselves, okay? Stop following dogmas and use your noggin and think for yourself. Please. Please, people. Please. My 20 viewers. Please, people, just think for yourself, okay? Okay? The world would be a whole better place if we sat there and thought for ourselves. Didn't rely on social media or people or whatever to tell us what to do, The world would be a better place if we just thought for ourselves and thought, hey, that's bad. Hey, that's wrong. Hey, I should do this, and so on. Just think for yourselves, okay, people? Thank you. Heal thyself.